Okay, so there are several points we shall remember. Number one, there are many names to name this language. 普通话 yes. 华语 yes. 汉语 of course. 北京话 yes. Or 国语 in Taiwan. So this language has several names, but they are all the same language. Mind you, because Chinese is spoken in many, many places. So if you hear somebody speak Chinese, which is a little bit different from your Chinese teacher's speech or different kind of accent, don't worry. There are many people who speak this language. They might have different local accents or different expressions. We might speak the same language and yet slightly different kind of expressions, words, or even intonation. Say the pitch sometimes will be varied. It depends on the region. It depends on where you are speaking. Okay, so if you hear somebody say Chinese, it's different from the way you learned. That is all right, okay? The best way to learn a new language is to keep your mind open. Try to be open-minded. When you go to the place, try to learn from them. Learn the new language, new expressions, and then perhaps have some kind of conversation with them and really live as what they do in their daily life. And Pinyin is actually a worldwide system. In Taiwan, we use /ppmf, which is okay, and different phonetic symbol, different kind of writing. And apart from Taiwan, other places, we use Hanyu Pinyin. That is also good. We use English letter to mark our pronunciation, to mark our sound. And also the tones, they are not negotiable. Because if you do not pronounce the tones right, you may really mislead others. And that will cause a lot of funny misunderstanding, okay? So remember, when you speak of Chinese, try to keep the tones right and try to practice, and practice. And your body is your teacher. Try to use all kinds of gestures and body movement to imitate the sound, and you can do a better job. Now, I'm going to use a little poem to go through the sound practice. Poem is something which will help you to memorize the sound and experience the sound better. Now, we're going to look at this poem. This is my favorite, 江雪. Look at the spelling, 基一昂江. Remember the first tone I told you, and 雪. C-U-A, 雪. Third tone, so you're going down and up, down and up. 江雪. Jiang means river, 雪 means snow. River, snow. Okay, so this poem is like this. And up to this point, I try to use Hanyu Pinyin to help you to remember the sound quickly. And during the next lesson, we might look at /ppmf. Okay, now look at the Chinese characters. Are they beautiful? I feel, well, Chinese writing, though to you, might be a little bit complicated. But remember, Chinese people, we just look at the picture word every day. And then you need to practice writing later. And we only look at the characters and we are able to say it. So you need to practice the writing and try to put that image go together with the sound, or otherwise you'll never read Chinese text. Okay, now look at the 汉语拼音, and then I give you word by word translation under the 汉语拼音. And in terms of the Chinese characters, we will learn how to write in the lesson 2 or 3. Now, only look at the 汉语拼音, the second line, and pronounce with me. 千, 千, 七一安, 千. And the second word, 诗安, 山, 千山, thousand mountain, 千山. Remember, in Chinese quatrain, the first 2 characters will be in a linguistic unit, and then the last 3 characters will be in another unit. So we pronounce the first 2 characters, 千山, and then we might give a little bit pause, and then continue the next 3 words. Okay? So, 千, first tone, 山, first tone. And the third characters, 鸟, 鸟. Remember the third one, very dramatic, going down and up. 鸟 is bird. 飞 is the first one. 绝 going up. So, 鸟飞绝 can be together. So we pronounce the first line like 千山鸟飞绝. And then try to imagine the picture. Thousand, mountain, bird, fly. 绝 is actually distinct, disappear. So it's not bird flies a lot. It's bird fly no more. No more birds flying. Imagine thousands of the mountains, and yet you cannot find anyone, not even a bird. All right? So actually, even the 5 characters is so rich. The meaning is very, very abundant. Okay, the second line, 1. 1. 1 is the 4th tone. Remember, you need to stamp your feet and say 1. 乌安 1. And the next one, 静 静 静 is also the 4th tone. If you have 2 4th tone together, 1 静, it's a little bit hard because you really need to give the strength. And then a little pause here, and then 人, the second one, 人 人 人. Okay, 1 means 10,000. 静 is a little mountain road, the mountain track. 人 is a person or people. 人人 宗 宗 zi u ong 宗. Remember the first one, flat, 宗, and then 灭 灭 me i e 灭 灭 is also disappear, die. So 人宗灭 people's track, disappear, die. So there is no human's track. You cannot see anyone. So the second line, 万境人宗灭万境人宗灭. That means a lot of tracks, but you cannot see the footprint. No, nobody. You cannot see anyone. So imagine you were in a forest or in a wood, and there are a lot of mountains, and then you cannot see any bird, you cannot see anyone. You might see a lot of mountain tracks, a little road here and there, but no bird, no persons. Okay? However, the third line normally is a kind of turning point in the poem. And let's have a look at the first character. Gu, ge, u, gu. Gu is the first tone. Gu. And then the second characters, zhou, zhi, o, zhou. Zhou is also the first tone. Gu, zhou. It's a little bit hard because you need to last your voice a little bit longer. Gu, zhou, and then the little pause. Suo, li, wong. Suo is also the first one. Si, u, o. Suo. And li, le, yi, li. Fourth tone. Give a little bit more strength. Li. Wong, wu, ong, wong. Wong is also the first tone, so keep the sound flat. Gu, zhou, the single boat, and little pause in the middle. Suo, li, wong. Suo is a raincoat, or in the very, very ancient old time, you don't have that kind of plastic raincoat, but they do have those raincoat made by bamboo or the stroke. And li is a bamboo hat. In China or South Asia, you see the ladies wearing the bamboo hat. Wong is old man. But we use wong to talk about old man. Is it in a little bit literal ways, old way? Normally, we don't say it now. Okay, we have another way to say the old man. So, gu, zhou, suo, li, wong means single boat, and the raincoat and the rain hat, and you see an old man. Only. Okay? And then the fourth line normally is a concluding remark. Okay? Du, diao, little pause. Han, jiang, xue. De, wu, du. Du is the second tone going up. Du, du. Du means only, single, lonely. Diao, de, yi, ao, diao. Diao, fourth tone. So you have to stamp and really give the strength, energy. Du, diao means lonely. Diao, fishing. So the third line, we have a protagonist, a character, an old man who is fishing alone, without any company, without any friends. Just him, alone. Han, jiang, xue. He, an, han. Han, the second tone. Jiang, ji, yi, ang, jiang. Jiang is the first one. Xue, xi, yu, e, xue. Remember the third tone going down and then up. Xue. Han, jiang, xue literally means cold, river, snow. So, what does that mean? Alone, fishing, cold, river, snow. If you're going to use cold river, snow as the objects for the action fishing, that is a little bit bizarre, isn't it? So, the lonely man, one man, old man, in a kind of very cold winter background, and then you see he is holding a fishing rod and fish nothing. And you might think he is kind of fishing his dreams or his ideas or this kind of cold snow. But how come somebody can fish the cold winter snow? So that is a question for you. And try to think, why during such a cold winter time could anyone go out just with a raincoat and sitting and waiting for any fish to be hooked? Of course not. Of course not. Winter time normally is not a good time for fishing, isn't it? So the literal translation is like 1,000 mountains, no more birds flying. 1,000,000 paths, no more man's trace. So let's have a look at the translation of this. River snow, 江雪，千山鸟飞绝。A thousand mountains, no more birds flying. 万径人踪灭。A million paths, no more men's trace. 孤舟蓑笠翁。Solitary raft, straw cap, old man. 独钓寒江雪 alone, fishing, cold river snow. And in that picture, okay, you see all the characters. They stand together and form a picture. And you can see the camera lens going here and there. And eventually, we all focus on that old fisherman. And we don't know what he is fishing or fishing about what. However, we do know that this man is alone. And this man is fishing. And this man is doing something abnormal. Like this picture, okay? So, in that white world, a Chinese man, an old man, is fishing. And fishing the cold winter river snow. Isn't that beautiful? Sometimes we Chinese people don't say things so clearly. We will use a metaphor or a kind of picturesque message to convey the meaning. So sometimes when we talk to Chinese people, we need to think. Okay, but it also depends on the personality. Remember, when you go to a new culture and to learn a new language, yes, you can have some kind of cultural background or knowledge, or a little bit stereotypes, but do not let them stop you, because in each culture there are always some good people, and people will warm you, will hug you, will welcome you to this culture as long as you are sincere, as long as you learn this language, as long as you are willing to communicate in their language, as long as you can show your sincerity of trying to speak Chinese with them. So whatever tone problems or writing problems or 汉语拼音 problems, that will not be the problems for you to learn this beautiful language, Chinese.